It's Roy Kelly for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Sky Sports Head of Boxing Development, Adam Smith. Welcome back to the North East, Adam. A place you love.
I do love it here, Roy, absolutely. Newcastle, we've been coming here for many years. I'm a Liverpool fan, not a Newcastle fan, but what I do love is the passion of the Newcastle people. They're true sports people. They love their football. They love their boxing. I was obviously very close for many, many years to Glenn McCrory. We worked together, and there's something, about the Geordies I love, and the North East generally. You know, we spent a lot of time in Hartlepool with Michael Hunter. We had some great times at the Borough Hall. I've been very close to Savannah Marshall since she's been a teenager, really, and so I'm delighted to be back in the North East. And when Ben Shalom and I got together, it was a big thing of mine to say, look, there's a lot of talent that has been left in the North East, I feel. Eddie brought it back, and I think we can continue, and I think we'll have more big shows up here. Obviously, Saturday night, we're delighted to be back. And if Savannah gets through against Femke Hermans, which is no gimme, Femke is a tough fighter, former world champion herself, current European champion. But it's a sort of semi-final, and if she gets through that, then I'll be doing everything I can in my power to bring the big fight back to Newcastle, because I think that the Newcastle fans, the North East fans, deserve that. We saw the reaction that Savannah got when she headlined last time. I can see nothing but a massive night on Saturday, rocking and rolling in that arena. And I would like to bring the big fight with Clarissa Shields back to either the arena or the Dream at St James's Park. Now, obviously, there's a lot of decisions still to be made on venue and date, and let's see how Clarissa is welcomed on Saturday night, first and foremost. But I hope she enjoys it, even though she's coming into hostile territory. She's quite a character. She's a magnetic person to be around, Clarissa. She's a phenomenal sports person in her own right. It's a massive night. It's a massive fight for women's boxing, something I've been really pushing for many years, and something which is just on top of the world at the moment. So, I'm delighted to be back in Newcastle with Savannah.
It's a better fight than Will Smith and Chris Rock. Yeah. How close are we to seeing the fight actually agreed and a date set?
The fight's there. We've worked very hard with Dimitri Salita and Mark Taffet and Clarissa's team. Clarissa loved coming to Cardiff. She boxed brilliantly against Emma Kozin. I thought she just stopped traffic in Wales. She was fantastic, her and her big red slippers. That's why in the press conference when Savannah said that she's going to been creeping around for the last 4 or 5 years, I said she'll be creeping into the arena with those slippers on again. She's a star, Clarissa Shields, and Savannah's now blossoming into the person that I've always known she could be, and she's got the talent and the ability, and now she's got the confidence behind her. Large part of that due to Peter Fury, but it's down to herself, and in fact she's stuck with it, and she's had a lot of knockbacks in her career, Savannah, but she's now rightfully headlining shows and a massive attraction, not just for the North East, but for boxing generally. And if she can unify and beat Clarissa Shields, she's going to become a superstar. And I mean, for the silent assassin and somebody that I've sat with through the years thinking, God, I just want Savannah to get through a next amateur tournament, such as her confidence wasn't there, and the injuries and everything that sort of went, and that purpose, and I just thought, is that talent going to go to waste? And it's hats off to Savannah herself and her family and her team that she is where she is, and she deserves her position, and it's fantastic to have that, and it's a big fight with Femke Hermans, and it's a bigger fight with Clarissa Shields.
Boxer and Sky Sports are great champions of the female game. Was that a deliberate policy when you got together, or is it something that just evolved?
I think Eddie is as well, and I think that it all started. I mean, it started a long time ago when I was pestered night and day by Jane Couch, and she's a cracking lady, and she did everything she could at that stage. But I think the matchmaking wasn't good back then, and I think unfortunately she was a bit before her time. But Katie Taylor, the icon of Ireland, I think that she transcended the sport, certainly in Ireland, and I think when Eddie came to us and said Katie wants to turn pro, and Barney Francis said, yeah, let's do it. And I think from then, the opportunities that Tasha had, that Terry had, that Chantel had, that Shannon Courtney and so many others have enjoyed. I think Savannah obviously, has come through, everyone's come through under sort of Katie's, impetus, and the fact that we gave at Sky Katie the chance, and Matchroom did, I think that should be noted. I think Eddie is a big advocate for female boxing too, but I'm massive as well, and I Obviously, I've had that connection with Savannah, being a scholar at Sky, but I'm very close to Katie. I'm very close to Tasha. And I think that we've got Tasha Jonas on, we've got Savannah on. Caroline Dubois is a magnificent signing. I said it at the time, and I will say it again and again. Caroline Dubois is going to do special things in this sport, and not just in this sport. I think she's going to transcend it herself, maybe a little bit like Clarissa's done in the States. We are very passionate about female boxing, about women's sport generally at Sky, but we have been for a long time. This hasn't just happened overnight. And I said to Ben, and I told Ben that as many great guys you've got, I want as many great women. You've got to have, and he agreed, we've got to have a fantastic stable, a mixed stable of great women and great men. And on Saturday, you will see the power of our women on Sky. We're going to have Tasha there, we're going to have Clarissa there, and we're going to have some really, really big news as well. So I think that, look, it's exciting times for the women. They've got the platform. We're going to see them in fantastic fights. Also the men. It's a great time for boxing. There's so much competition. DAZN have got great shows. BT have got great shows. We've got the big one at Wembley coming up with Tyson Fury and Dillian White. Looks like we've got Alexander Usyk and AJ as well in their rematch. Great times for boxing. And add Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano in New York. I'm thinking of getting there, but we've got a big show that night with our own top-ranked show. Fantastic show with Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez. But I don't know, can you have people be in two places at once? I tell you what, though, I wouldn't miss, if she gets past Femke Herman, Savannah Marshall, Clarissa Shields match. And I think, and I've said to Ben, I said before the Khan Brook fight, we can go again with Khan Brook if it's a good fight. Unfortunately, it was, as brave as Amir was, it was one-sided. But I think if we get a cracker with Clarissa and Savannah, like we did with Katie and Tasha in the amateurs, then again the pros, no reason why we can't go again and again with this sort of rivalry. So maybe we could go to America and have one. Maybe we could have another one here. And, let's see. First things first, there's a big fight on Saturday. It's a world title fight. Savannah's got business to take care of. Femke Hermans has waited a year for this fight. She's a dangerous opponent. Clarissa is going to be ringside. Let's deal with Saturday night first. It's another great night for Newcastle. And then if Savannah gets through and remains undefeated, then the big one's on.
What about the undercard, Adam? There's some good fights on there.
There is some good fights. Really excited about Florian Marku and Chris Jenkins. Florian's wanted a bigger test. Chris Jenkins, I believe, is that test. Former British and Commonwealth champion. He needed that fight. He needed to get back on the winning run under Gary Lockett with Julius Indongo. I thought he boxed well. I think he's got plenty left, and he's obviously boxed at a higher level than Florian. But Florian's a tough guy, and he wants to take on these difficult matches. He wants to be a big part of the welterweight division. He wants to fight Conor Benn. He wants to fight Chris Congo, and Chris will be there at ringside on Saturday night. Let's see. He's got to get past Chris Jenkins. It's no gimme. It's a tough fight. It's a good match. It's the sort of matches we want. I pushed back on Richard Riakporhe last week. I wanted him to fight Dion Juma. I didn't want him to fight just another opponent that came in when the Fabio Turchi fight fell through. We're working very closely with Ben and Boxer, but we've also got a job to do to maintain that, we give as good a fight nights as we can for our Sky customers. So I said, let's go with Dion Juma. And listen, it was a great fight that they made, and hats off to Richard and to Dion for taking that fight. And just because Dion lost the fight, he had his moments, then he thought he was winning that fight, he'll come again. We'll give him that opportunity again. So I like that. I like the fact that Zach Jelly's had a different opponents, and Jack comes in, the unbeaten guy from Oldham, and suddenly he's got a chance. Opportunity knocks on these big fights. So some really good undercard fights. Zach Jelly, really looking forward to Brad Ray again. He's really exciting. He's tall, he's awkward, he's going to be horrible for people to fight. I think he can fight for a British title in the next year or so, Brad Ray. He's undefeated. He's stunning knockout win against Craig McCarthy on the big fight night in Manchester on the Khan Brook show. He was great against Jez Smith here, fight of the night that night. He's going to give us more fireworks, Brad, and what a lovely fella too. So looking forward to seeing him on. Georgia O'Connor, great story, different story, intelligent, studying civil engineering. She's a musician, but she wants to fight. They all got the bug, haven't they? Nice life in Durham, but they want to fight in the ring. It's great. And April Hunter, huge soft spot for April Hunter. She needs a win She knows she messed up last time. She needs a win. She's with Peter Fury now. You can't get a better association than that. Look what Savannah's had with Peter, and hopefully that's the move that April needs. And Joe McAnally and all the team were great for her, but maybe she's more settled with her mate Savannah, and let's see what April can do. So some real talent on the card, and should be another great night here in Newcastle.
Lastly, Adam, while we've got you here, you mentioned AJ and Usyk there in one of your answers. How close are we to getting a date for that?
Well, you probably know what I know, which is that it's heading. That's Mike Goodall packing up his stuff. No press day will be a day without Mike. Absolutely, the main man in boxing. There he is. Absolutely fantastic. We love Mike. He's the world's a better place when you see Mike. We know that a ring's going to be set up. He used to MC all the time as well with his rose and his black tie. I mean, there's no one like Mike Goodall in the trade. Anyway, Mike will be doing his thing. We'll be trying to get AJ tied up to. I hope a lifetime deal with Sky. I want to see him finish his career on Sky. He started with us on Sky. He's been a wonderful ambassador for us. I think we've been brilliant for AJ as a platform, as a business. We've had some fantastic nights at Wembley and Cardiff, and some ups and downs with him. The defeats over in New York, and obviously at Spurs. And I hope that the rematch would be at Spurs. Obviously, there's been a lot of spinning plates. Alexander's had the difficulty of something far more important than boxing. Him and Vitaly and Vladimir and Vasily being back on the front line in the Ukraine, and our hearts have gone out to all in such a difficult situation for the world. And I was surprised Alexander Usyk was going to even fight at this time. I thought AJ might have an interim fight. They were talking about that. But Alexander's been given the blessing by the ministers in Ukraine, especially by Vitaly, the mayor of Kyiv, to say, look, get out there and continue your career and do what is right and show Ukraine in a great light. I think he's going to have a lot of support for that rematch, Alexander Usyk, wherever it lands. I really wanted the first fight to be at Tottenham. I really wanted the second fight to be at Tottenham. Listen, it's not my fight to make. It's their business, but we'll see. I hear it's going to the Middle East in the end of June. That's what I'm hearing. I know what you know because I haven't been as involved this time, but I do know that negotiations are going on behind the scenes to try and get the Sky deal done. It's up to AJ. I think he wants to stay. I think he's got a great relationship with Sky, and I'm very hopeful and confident, as I've always said, that he will remain a Sky fighter. But until things are signed, until things are done, you never know in boxing. And he's in the AJ business, so he'll decide what's right for him. But I think I know what's right for him, which is to stay on the biggest platform in the UK.
Many thanks for your time on Seconds Out, Adam. Thank you.
No problem, Roy. Good to see you.